we're going back to the very beginning with one of the first serial killers. Before we continue, if you're new here, welcome. It would mean a lot to me if you like this video and subscribe with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss any of my videos. I have a lot more planned for this year, and I want you to see them all. Jack the Ripper is probably one of the most famous serial killers in history. The name itself sends shivers down the spine. But what makes his case so creepy isn't just the brutality of the crimes or the mystery surrounding his identity. It's also the fact that he may have gotten away with murder, literally. Jack the Ripper was a man who lived in London in the 1800s. He earned his name by being the perpetrator of several crimes, all of which involved women. Jack killed at least 5 people, possibly many more, and the crimes were brutal. The killings happened between August and September 9, 1888. The victims were Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Edos, and Mary Jane Kelly. All of the murders happened in the Whitechapel district of London, and all but one of the victims were either beggars or prostitutes. Their bodies were mutilated and in some cases nearly decapitated. The killer almost always disemboweled his victims and removed pieces of their organs. It's believed that the killer was a man because of the nature of the mutilations. Police at the time had no idea who it was, and neither did the public. In the days before DNA testing and security cameras, catching a killer was a lot harder. As the killings continued, fear grew among the citizens of London. People were too afraid to walk around at night, and business was bad for people who worked late hours. Some people even started to blame immigrants for the crimes, saying that people from other countries were less likely to be caught because they didn't have fixed addresses. This is unfortunate because it led to a lot of innocent people being harmed. After a while, police started to get some leads, and eventually they had a list of about 200 men they thought could have committed the crimes. They looked into all of these men, but they never found enough evidence to charge any of them. And to this day, no one knows for sure who Jack the Ripper was. One of the most popular theories is that the killer was Montague John Druitt, was a lawyer who was engaged to be married. One day he disappeared, and his body turned up in the River Thames shortly after. Some people believe that Druitt was Jack the Ripper, and that he killed himself after his spree. However, there's no way to know for sure if the body really was his. The police never recovered his fingerprints, and there were no witnesses. Another interesting theory is that Jack the Ripper was Francis Tumblety. Tumblety was an American who immigrated to England in 1884. 3 years later, he was arrested for the suspicious death of a maid. An autopsy was performed, but Tumblety was never charged because the results of the autopsy were inconclusive. He was released, but he spent the rest of his life in prison after being convicted of other crimes. Many believe that Tumblety was Jack the Ripper, but it's impossible to say for sure, or many other suspects. But I'll save those for another video. If you think you know who Jack the Ripper was, or if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I love reading them. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Bye.